Welcome once again to your update from the city of New Hope. Time to chat with the mayor, Kathy Hempkin, to find out what's new in the city and how you can stay involved. Welcome, Mayor. How are you today?
Well, I'm just fine, but we're going to change things up just a tiny bit. So the
Okay.
first thing on the agenda is that the CCX Media is doing a digital connection committee, and I'm going to let Dave Kaiser tell you about that rather than me tell him.
Well, how about that? All right, let's see. I've got my notes here. I'm prepared like you are, Mayor, to say a few things about it. So we have been working with other organizations like ours throughout the state to try to ascertain, are people able to get on the internet and do what they need to do? And it just isn't having a cable to your home, but it's also, do you have high-speed access? Is it consistent access? So those are some of the kind of questions that we're asking, and how we're doing that is through a survey that we've been given by the State Office of Broadband. And so that is available here at CCX Media, but also through a QR code that the city has been posting. The city of New Hope and the other 9 cities in our area have been posting on their social media, so people can click in and take that survey. We've shortened it because we found the first survey was quite long. So we said, can we get about a 4-page survey? And they put that together for us. So again, asking questions such as, are the activities necessary to ensuring that all individuals and communities, including the most disadvantaged, have access to and use of technology? And that includes affordable, consistent broadband service, internet-enabled devices that meet the needs, access to digital skills. So it's one thing, Mayor, to have access to it, but do you know how to use the internet when you even get on it? And those are some of the kind of skills that they're asking about. Also, technical support. Do people have support? If something goes wrong with your internet, do you know how to fix it? Or do you know who to call to fix it? And again, applications and online content. So can people find and know about online content? So all of that wrapped together into a survey that we're doing. It's through the end of June. So if people are interested in New Hope, we'll put the QR code on the page here, and they can also go to the city's social media and find out more. So Mayor, that is what we're up to and how people can give us some feedback. So hopefully everyone can be connected and be able to use the internet as they should be able to.
Wonderful. See, I knew it would be better to interview you on that.
All right. I appreciate the question, and hopefully that helps people out. And again, a lot of information, but we're looking for input from all ages, all cultural groups throughout the area. All right. Turntables again, back to my asking you questions. Let's talk about community development. We always spend some time on scatter site housing. We'll do that in just a second. But first, we want to talk about the RAVE Awards. Again, something that department is doing to try to recognize people doing great work in and around their yards. Again, Mayor, explain how that works and how people can take advantage of it.
Well, rave is not an acronym. It's just like you're ranting and raving about something. So if you've done some work to your home on the outside or the inside, you can either nominate yourself or your neighbor can nominate you. You have until the 21st of July to do that. We moved that up a little bit because a lot of these projects around the yards look fabulous on the 21st of July and not so fabulous in October when we used to take the nominations. So we want to make sure we're seeing your yard at its finest. So if you're proud of what you've done, nominate yourself or nominate your neighbor and get that in, and then you'll get some award at the end. Usually it's a rock that you can put in your garden or a plaque that you can put in your house. But we just want to recognize those people that are doing something special to their homes.
Great idea. Go to the city's website, newhopemn.gov. You can find out more about that great program. One property in town we wanted to update residents on, 5001 Boone Avenue. There's been some work related to outdoor storage. What is the update there?
Well, we have ordinances about outdoor storage, and it can't be more than, I think it's 20% of, or it can be more than 20% of your indoor storage, but we need to know that. And so these people at 5001 Boone have applied for a permit for more outdoor storage, and we're reviewing that now. So if you see that outdoor storage, it is regulated.
Now to scatter site housing and some updates of properties around the city. Mayor, let's begin at 3611 Louisiana. What is the latest on that property?
Well, the demolition has been done, but it was a little more expensive than we thought. There was an underground heating tank there that had to be drained and removed, and a very large truck tire. So that's all done. They're now grinding the stumps that are on the land, And we've sent out a demo or a bid for housing to be put there. That should come back about mid-June, and we'll vote on it at the end of June.
Let's move up to the corner of 42nd and Boone. A couple lots there. What is the latest on progress to get something built?
4201 Boone, that's coming right along. So they've got their building permit. It's been staked out, and Xcel Energy will be moving that pole sometime this week. So you should see something being done there, some digging going on, and a house just seems to pop out of the ground when they do that.
They do move fast now to 4965 Winnetka property we've been talking about, of some demolition work there. What is the latest?
Well, we actually have scheduled the closing on that for the 30th of June. The people have moved out. We went in and removed some of the stuff that needed to be removed. And now after that closing, we'll send out bids for demolition. That one's going to be demolished, and we'll lot split that. So there'll be two houses going on that property. I don't know if they're going to be facing Winnetka or they're going to be facing 49th, but that's what's happening on that lot. And you'll see something going on pretty quick there.
Very nice. Next property is 5243 Oregon Avenue. Again, what is happening there in the world of scatter site housing?
Well, we made a bid on that property, and they've come to a purchase agreement, but that purchase agreement now has to come back to the EDA, the Economic Development Authority, which is basically the city council in New Hope. It's different in some other cities. So we will then look at what they're offering to buy that house for. Once that's done, and we actually do buy the house, then they'll do a closing on it. And that's just going to be a tear down and a single rebuild. It's about 1 block north of where Windsor Ridge is.
Other house is 5306 Rhode Island, and this is one that is complete and ready to be purchased, correct?
Well, it is. They're going to install the driveway and finish off the yard. They did lower the price to $579. I was rather surprised that that was the lower price, but it's a beautiful, beautiful home. So let's hope that that one gets sold pretty quick.
All right, last property in scatter site housing to update residents on is 5802 Boone. Again, a property we've talked about quite a bit, and it looks like quite a bit of activity is happening there.
There it is. We were going to do some training there with the West Metro Fire and the police department, but because of the condition of the home, and both of those groups had done some training at 3611 Louisiana, they decided not to do that training. So as soon as we get the demolition bids back, we'll vote on that on the 26th of June, and then that demolition will happen shortly after that. So really, neighbors, something's happening.
Next up is the New Hope Crystal Business Networking Group. They have got a meeting coming up very quickly. For those watching this early, you might still be able to get in on it. Mayor, when and where is that next meeting?
Well, that's a free meeting, and they're really interesting because there's lots of businesses there and lots of sharing of information that goes on at that. So that's the 7th of June. It'll be at 8:30 at City Hall, and the Minneapolis Chamber of Commerce, which New Hope is now a part of that, will be there just to tell us what the chamber does. And then right after that, you get an update of what's happening in the city, and then there's just tons of networking going on. So after that, on the 19th of July at 3 o'clock, there's a social at Pocket Square at 42nd, where the old Mountain Mud used to be. So that's a fun event to come to. Also, a lot of sharing of business cards and information on those meetings.
And again, with those groups, do people need to sign up ahead of time, or can people just drop in and show up that morning or afternoon?
They just need to show their pretty little face.
There we go. All right, as easy as that.
We do spend a little time introducing everybody, or they introduce themselves, telling us a little bit about their businesses. So it's free advertising, and it's really, they tell me there's a lot of business going on between the businesses.
That's great to hear.
That's exciting.
All right, let's move ahead to the police department. And we all know that schools in the school district very busy with the end of the year activities, but Mayor, the police department also busy with end of the year activities?
Well, the police department does their normal police stuff, which is a lot.
Yeah.
But they're also trying to be out in the community with just some community engagement. So this last week, they were at the Robbinsdale Area Schools for Early Learning, their spring party. And then they went to Sonneson for their end of the year carnival. And a lot of times these are either the cops that are on duty at the moment, or just police officers that aren't on duty that will just stop in. So we're doing a lot of stuff out in the community. It's really important that the kids see police officers in a friendly face, in a friendly manner. So they're really wonderful, our cops are.
Hats off to the force for getting out to those special events. Let's go to Public Works, talk about one area in the city that might have some temporary water for a little while. Explain what is happening, where this area is.
On 37th Avenue, Virginia, Yukon, that general area, they'll be getting a temporary water because they're rebuilding the water main. Now that water is the same water that usually comes out of your tap. They use very sanitized hoses to do this. This isn't like they're just hooking it up to some well somewhere. It's good water, it's drinkable. You can use it just like you would use the normal water. It'll come out of your tap. It's just you'll see a hose running rather than the big pipe underneath the ground. So that usually takes a few weeks to get that done. So it's coming. And if you haven't gotten a notice, you will get one in the mail shortly to tell you what exactly is happening.
Good to know. Meadow Lake, we've been talking about the management of some of the weeds around and in that lake, and you've got another group that is keeping an eye on it. Tell us about who the partner is helping here.
Well, the Shingle Creek Water Management Team, of which New Hope is part of, they're the ones that paid for these chemicals that went into Meadow Lake. And what they'll do now is after those chemicals are in, they'll be testing the water once a week just to see if they're having some impact on that. If you remember, we did a drawdown on Meadow Lake to kill all those little minnows that were in there. None of the turtles died, but all the little minnows died. But when you do that, what happens is seeds blow in, and now you've got all kinds of other things going on. So they have to kill those weeds too. It's an ever-going process.
I can imagine. All right, let's head to Park and Rec. We're going to spend quite a bit of time here because a lot going on at this time of the year. And a great place to look for information is in your In Motion. In fact, if you open the first page and look right up here in the first corner, you're going to find something called Playground Pals, Mayor. It sounds fun. What is it?
It is. Well, they have groups that go out to the playgrounds, and if in your In Motion, it tells you the times that they'll be there. You have to register for those programs, but you only have to do it 1 week prior to the event, and there's many events. So you do need to look in that In Motion to see when these projects are taking place at your local park. If you didn't keep your In Motion, you threw it away, you can go into City Hall or Park and Rec and get another one, or you can go online and look. But do that because they're really a fun thing for the kids to do. Now, there's a cost for that, and we have like a scholarship program. So we don't want anyone not to be able to come because of the cost. So if you need some financial assistance, just go into City Hall, bring your driver's license and proof of address, and you probably can get some help paying for those fees.
A sure sign that the summertime activities are here is that the first concert in the park just happened. You see some of the shots here from the entertainment complex at Civic Center Park. Mayor, tell us about the first concert and the turnout.
It was fun. There was about 50 people there. They bring their chairs, they bring their blankets, they sing along with the band that's playing. So the next one is the 7th of June, and that's going to be Mitchell Hall and the Tennessee Trio. They tell me they sound a lot like Johnny Cash in his early years. Don't know exactly what that means, but they should be fun. And these are free concerts, and they're usually sponsored by some group. I don't know who's sponsoring this one, but they're free, and they start at 7 o'clock and they go to 8:30.
Very good. And you can go to the city's website, newhopemn.gov, to find out the full schedule of concerts that happen throughout the summer, and also onto the city's Facebook as well. All right, Mayor, we've had fun talking about the Young Mudder, and it's almost here. Again, what is this muddy event? And now you're saying I don't have to even go out and get muddy. I can just go watch the mud fun. Is that right?
The mud fun? That sounds like fun. Yes, you can. That's going to be the 10th of June from 9 to 12. Basically what it is, they fill up a pit with dirt and water, and the kids play in the mud. And this is open for 6 to 12-year-olds. If you just want to watch, it's just a riot to watch. If you happen to be a parent and you actually want to play in the mud yourself, you can do that from 11 to 12 on that day. And this is all happening in the Valley Place Park in Crystal. We do a lot of things with the Crystal Park and Rec Department, and this is one of them.
That sounds like fun.
If you want to play in the mud or you want to watch kids play in the mud, this is the place to go.
All right. Mayor, as we've talked about, a lot of staff now signing up for seasonal opportunities in Park and Rec and through Public Works. And as they get signed up, they're going through something called mandated reporter training. help us understand what that is and why that's necessary.
Well, when these employees come for the seasonal training, they get a regular training on what their job is, but they're also getting this mandated reporter training. In the event that they see a child that perhaps is in a difficult situation and they don't know who to go to, they can always tell staff and they'll be trained to know where to send those kids or how to get those kids some help. It's just a way of protecting our children in our community.
Park and Rec having a lot of fun with those activities, but also involved in something a little more serious, and that's with the trees and the emerald ash borer. What is the latest work on the emerald ash borer? And I understand Civic Center Park is one of the next areas they're looking at.
They are. So they've been out with their little can of spray paint, spraying orange dots on the trees between 49th and 51st, and between Boone and Winnetka. And they'll spray those trees that look like they're in trouble. They're also spraying the trees at Civic Center Park. And those are the trees that will be taken down. And then they should be planting the trees on the boulevard this week. So you should see some activity going on with that too.
Okay, good to watch for that. All right, we are officially in the month of June, and that means No Mow May is over. And Mayor, what does that mean for city residents?
Well, I checked in with the city forester this morning, and No Mow May is over. Now, New Hope did not officially become part of No Mow May, but we said, you know, if you don't want to mow in May, you don't have to. But it's now June. So he's going around and you will get a citation telling you you have 7 days to mow those dandelions and that tall grass down. If that doesn't happen in 7 days, then what we do is we call a outside contractor who will come in and mow for you to the tune of about $250. And you will be assessed for that. So if you haven't mowed, I would suggest you get busy and mow. If you have a real serious problem, like your mower doesn't work and it's in the shop and you can't find one, at least call City Hall and ask to talk to the forester and have a conversation with the forester about that. He might be able to give you a little leeway on that.
Great idea. All right, let's talk about a few parks in the city that are getting some updates done. What are the couple parks that have some work that's being completed so we can all go out and enjoy?
Well, Hidden Valley Park, their trails have been reclaimed. So that's going to be retarred. Don't have a date on when they're going to do that. Liberty Park basketball court also has been reclaimed and we don't know when that's going to go in. The trail at Hidden Valley is tar, so that'll be going in quicker. The basketball court, of course, is cement, so that takes a little longer to coordinate to get that to happen.
All right, let's move over to the golf course. We're going to talk about three of the big facilities in town. The golf course was very, very busy this past weekend, not only on the golf course itself, but also in the patio area. What was happening?
Well, on the golf course, starting at about 6:30 in the morning, they had 171 golfers going through there from the Lions Club. So big tournament, they were all in the back patio. Then after they got done playing, the golf course still had people on the course, but they had to clean up that back patio because they had a graduation party at 5. So then on Sunday morning, they had the Armstrong tennis team there to do their annual banquet from 11 to 3. And then at 5, they had another graduation party. So it's been really busy. And through all this, they're running a golf course. It's a busy place. If you wanted to have your party at the golf course, I'm thinking it might be a little difficult to find a time to get in there, but call and check.
That's right. You can book now for fall and winter as well. It is a great place for people to get together. Let's go to the ice arena, talk about the ice on the South Rink. Things are moving along. We're going to see ice pretty quickly here.
Well, this was really interesting. So Fat, Dumb, and Happy, I didn't know exactly how this happened. So I said, are you putting in the ice this week? And they said, well, apparently what happens after the cement cures, they go in with hoses and guys are just standing there with hoses, putting a thin layer of water on the cement. And then they have to wait for it to freeze, another thin layer, many, many layers. And they will do this like 24 hours a day, having people come in to put this thin layer on so they can build up the ice so they can actually open it up. So that's what's happening at the golf course. In my foolishness, I thought they would just put in 2 or 3 inches of water.
Sure.
Well, they do, but it's over a few weeks to do that.
Takes some time. And part of the use of that ice soon will be skating lessons. Tell us about the skating lesson time to sign up. I guess that's right now.
So the skating lessons start on the 12th of June. You can go into your InMotion. It'll give you the different levels that you sign up for and how to sign up. But look at that InMotion and that'll give you all the details you need on that.
All right, let's go outside to the aquatic park. A lot of activity here. It was opening weekend. How did it go? I know you've got some numbers here, and what fun is coming up at the pool?
Lots of numbers. So this is probably more than you ever wanted to know. But I understand last weekend, the 3rd and 4th of June, they opened. At that point, they had sold 1,941 passes. So on Saturday, there was 1,172 people that came through. 479 of them used their passes. And on Sunday, there were 1,572 and 569 people used their passage, their passage. So the swim team is going to start practicing in the mornings. So you'll see some people there. The swim lessons begin on the 19th of June. And again, you can go into your InMotion and it'll tell you where your various levels will be and what time they will be. So they do have the swim lessons start at age 3. They go up to age 15. And that information is on page 45 of your InMotion. Now they also have something called Tot Time. That'll be on June 10th. So this is for the 0 to 5-year-olds. And it's I have to read this so I don't get it wrong. It's at 9:45 to 10:45. Basically, you bring your little ones in and they play in the real shallow water. The parents are free. The kids either have to have a season pass of their own, or it's $4 to come in. But there's not the big kids there to scare them. It's just all for little kids. So also coming early is the water walking. That starts at 9 to 11:45, and that will start this week. So you can come in early. If you want to do adult lap swimming, again, 9 to 11:45, and both of them need a season pass, or you can, I think it's $6 to just come in to do that. Also, the adult swimming is going to be from 6 to 8, Monday to Thursday, p.m. So you can do some adult swimming. So the aquatics park has been so busy. Now, as you know, it's closed right now, and it'll open again on the 8th, and then it will be open for the season. So check online. Do you have the right days? Don't go to the aquatics park today because it's not open today.
Makes sense. All right, newhopemn.gov. You can find out more about the hours. And again, the mayor mentioned again, the InMotion looks like this. And if you turn about to the back page, there's a couple pages actually full of information about the swimming lessons. So make sure you take a look in there to find out more about how you can get involved in other things for all ages, really, at the aquatic park. All right, a couple quick items under human resources to touch on. One is the posting period for utility billing and special assessment clerk. That is open, I understand, right now.
Yeah, we had to go external for that one because typically what we do is you have to post a job internally. If you don't have 2 qualified candidates, you have to go external. And so we did that, and the applications will be accepted until Tuesday of this week. Right now we have 30 applicants, so a lot of interest in coming to New Hope.
One final note to touch on is the news media recently having a story that involved the city of New Hope and mentioned about group homes. Give us an update about what that story was.
So a few months ago, we had a group home that really wasn't taking as good a care of the residents as they should have. And so we had pulled the rental license for that group home. In the meantime, the people that own them filed a discrimination case against the city. Well, it came back, the court has dismissed that discrimination case. In other words, saying we were not at fault. And so we are just waiting now and see if they're going to bring some other case or wanted to have it relooked at or something, but we think we're probably done with that. I do understand that group home has changed management, and hopefully the residents there are getting better care.
In our final minute, Mayor, you wanted to pass along some other facts. You've been counting lots of numbers here over the past week or so to pass along something that New Hope residents can talk about at the dinner table. All right, we're ready, Mayor. Tell us some more of these stats that people might be amazed by.
Well, this is just fun facts. I got a letter from Hennepin County telling me these fun facts, and I'm thinking, why are they just telling me? I want to tell everybody. So in these fun facts, they're estimating the population, and this is based on the 2020 census. So here we are 3 years later. They're estimated at 21,552 people live in New Hope. Again, that's just an estimation. Since 2020, there's been 32 new homes built in New Hope. At this point, there are 4,649 houses in New Hope that are lived in. There are 4,248 apartments. So counting the houses and the apartments as living units and adding the duplexes, triplexes, quads, those things, it comes to 9,393 households. And that averages out, so Hennepin County told me, to 2.3 people per household. So we have a lot of households in New Hope and a lot of people living here. And I'm liking it. 21,552, just in case anybody asks you.
All right, we now have that information. All right, a lot passed along today and a lot more happening in the city that we couldn't even fit in. So go to the city's website, newhopemn.gov. You can find out more about what we've talked about and other things happening. Mayor, thanks once again for your time today. Appreciate it as always, and stick with us. We've got to look at some dates and times on our calendar of events in New Hope that you just might want to get involved in. Mayor, have a great week. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Dave. You too.
Learn more about the connection at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.